Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. I'm Tish, and over here I shed light on daily happenings, not exclusive of my personal journey, and whatever the Lord rests on my spirit for me to share with you on a daily basis, okay? So, with that out of the way, I want to say if it rests on your spirit, please like, share, subscribe. Welcome to my family. Okay, today I want to talk about breaking addictions, right? Anybody know something about that? Yeah, breaking addictions, whatever it may be. Something where you just can't get out of your system. You probably divert from it, but you don't know how. The reason I'm sharing this is because I have one particular thing I want to talk about though, which is smoking. 90% of us we do smoke or have smoked in the past. But specifically, I want to talk about marijuana, weed, ganja, kush. You know it, girl. Yes, I want to talk about smoking marijuana and breaking the habit. The reason why I want to talk about this is let me share a little bit of a background story with y'all. I started smoking when I was about between the ages of 7 and 9 years old. Mostly because I was inquisitive. I would always see persons around me smoking, and I would sneak around and pick up the spliff tails or the cigarette butts and smoke them, or I would crush out leaves and wrap them in paper, and yes, I think we've all done that at some point in time. However, the reason why I want to talk about this is at a point in my life, I didn't know that I could overcome the addiction to weed, to marijuana. Yes, I call it an addiction because I was attached to it because of emotional reasons. So typically, I would smoke whenever I feel emotionally burdened or I feel like I just can't manage. And at one point, I told myself that I quit. I just got up one day and decided, say today is that day. Today is that day that I'm going to quit smoking. And I actually did. I did for a solid year, 1 year, compact year, 365 days. And on the last day of that year, on the 365th day, I was like, I did quit, but I'm ready again. I don't remember what the trigger was. However, I did begin to smoke again. And from that day until about 2 months ago, let's say a month, because until about a month ago, I was on it rapid. Smoking, right through as much as I can think of. As I out one, I use one to like the other one, and so forth. However, the last smoke I had, which is what I really wanted to get to, the last smoke I had was about approximately a month ago. And while having that smoke, come a little bit closer. While having that spliff, I heard a voice say, "Why you smoke?" And I was like, "Because I want to. I'm having a moment, and it is the only thing that can actually relieve the mental stress of what I was going through at the time." And a voice said, "Eh." And I said, "Yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's not me not addicted to it." That's what I said to myself. I'm not addicted to it. I just wanted to have it in this moment because of how I am feeling now, and it won't be a continuous thing. That's what I told myself. However, the voice repeated. I heard, clear as day, I heard entity. So I was like, what is that? And while I heard the word, I started having in my mind I was searching what is entity. So I quickly went on my phone, I researched the word. It is an attachment, spiritual attachment. So I was like, ooh, the weed have an entity, the marijuana has an entity, and the spirit says yes. I'm like, what? How that possible? It's just bush wrapped in paper. And the vice said, no, check again. When I started I sunk into my mental, started to analyze everything from where the weed come from, who handled it and all that. And the realization I got was, the questions kept popping up in my mind. Where it come from? Where does it come from? Who has handled it? How many hands has it passed through before it come to me? You understand? All of that. So I was like, oh, it's not that the weed or the marijuana itself has an entity. It is based on the energies that it picks up on its way to you. Check that. In reality, no. If you don't plant it yourself, more than likely, I would say 96% of smokers do not plant it. We buy it or we accumulate it some other way, but we don't plant it ourselves. So with that said, I hope I'm not going too fast. With that said, listen, the planter who plants it, the plant absorbs that person's energy because they are there around it, they interact with it, they speak over it, whether negative or positive, and that plant absorbs the energy. Right, that's the planter, the distributor, who brings it to the seller. The marijuana also absorbs that person's energy. Whatever is said over it, it absorbs the energy as well. And that's the second person, And then it comes to the person who sells it. Look at this now. How long does a person have that marijuana for? How many persons pass through that vicinity and interact with that bundle of weed or marijuana? Check. You don't know. You don't know what was said over it, in the environment that it was in. It might have been in somebody's house, in somebody's car, in somebody's shop, wherever. But what I'm trying to say is, all right. For example, if it's your neighbor that sells it, then, and it's a good draw weed, and so you can't depend on it to get the high the way you want. Trust me, I know. I've been there. So you just want to stick to that strain there. However, it's being stored in the house. Maybe they are having an argument. Maybe they don't live good. Or maybe there's just something in that overall environment that is not very positive, and that marijuana sucks up all of it. And then guess what? It comes to you. It comes to me buy it. Me feel good, me roll it up, cut up, roll up, and yeah. I in turn absorb all of that energy. And sometimes that high that you get is not from the weed, it's from that energy that it has brought into your vicinity. So look at it. I'm not trying to tell you to stop smoking, but pay attention to where your substance comes from. Alright, here's another example that the the medicinal weed as they call it, or the lab made weed, then lab made marijuana, the different strains, it's produced in mass production in an area where, maybe in a greenhouse, more likely a greenhouse, where you would say it doesn't have as much human contact as the local one. So in that you might find a more purer set of high that can actually make you feel like you're having a more clear spiritual connection. Because beyond all of that, marijuana is a spiritual plant. I do believe that, based on my years of experience with it. You understand? And that is also where the energy comes in. Energy, spirit, spiritual, right? So as I'm saying, the mass-produced, the factory-made marijuana that does not. Excuse me for rambling. I'm missing my words. The marijuana that does not have as much physical or human contact. As I say, you might have a better high from it. That doesn't distinguish from the fact that it has some form of energy that it has absorbed from outside sources. So, again, I am not telling you to stop smoking your weed. I am not doing that. What I am in turn saying is be careful. Be very careful of where it travels from. Make sure you know where it come from. Who planted it? Who sell it? How the environment is that it is being stored in. And the easiest way to avoid all of that, plant it yourself. You know? Plant it yourself. Nothing wrong. Get my flowers pots. The next set of weed you buy. I probably have some seeds put on right now. We plant from last year or last 2 years. So I got plant them. Sow them another flowers pot there and keep the weed in your environment. Um, take care of it, water it, whatever the case may be, and test it out. When it comes to fruition, smoke that weed there and see if you can decipher the difference. Just test the theory. I'm just sharing my personal facts and experiences. Okay? Might not be yours, but I'm just sharing what I have experienced, and I hope it helps somebody in Jesus' name. Yeah. As I said before, if you are led to, please like, share, subscribe, become a part of my family. Until next time, peace and love. Bye.